Good evening. This is Funton Daniel speaking here from the great state of Texas. First of all, I want to thank the U.S. Department of Defense, and also I want to thank the U.S. State Department. I also want to thank the U.S. White House and U.S. Department of Defense with the significant 17 million cut on the military assistance to the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun. But however, I urge the United States can do more to liberate and free the West African region. U.S. Department of Defense can do more, and the State Department. Rather than cutting the military equipment supply, United States can do more, can do better. United States has the capacity, and it doesn't cost the U.S. Department of Defense to carry on a radical move to eliminate and deter a dictatorship. Let's take, for example, I know United States Department of Defense has been providing the radar, patrol boat, and C-130 airplanes and helicopters that are using against the Boko Haram. That was a United States gesture for La Republique du Cameroun against the Boko Haram in the north that had been terrorizing that area. But however, what has happened is that the people of Southern Cameroon, the former British trusted territory, those weapons that United States Department of Defense had provided to the neighboring country, La Republique du Cameroun, I am here to let the world understand that those equipment has been converted to the Southern Cameroon, the former British trusted territory. And that equipment are being used to destabilize, destroy the peace and the net migration of the people of Southern Cameroon that are currently in the forest or in the bush. All the images that you see on Facebook is deplorable. United States Department of Defense can do more, can do better. And I urge the U.S. Department of Defense and the State Department to take a closer look and see what can be done immediately now and deter a dictatorship. For example, what will be my recommendations for the U.S. Department of Defense to do? One, to station just at least 12 fighter jet F-16 or F-16, 12 of F-16 to any neighboring country and immediately alleviate, give 72 hours to either leave Cameroon or leave power or totally. That will make a significant gesture. That will make a significant and relinquish his power. That will change the course of dynamic. That is what the United States Department of Defense can do and give a lasting peace and security in that area. Let's take, for example, Paul Biya immediately has reallocated 6 billion CFA to an offshore company. And that 6 billion CFA is equivalent to 12,000 US dollar, 12 million US dollar, which means a difference of the 17 million US dollar that has been cut from aid. He has just reallocated 12 million, which is a deficit of 5 million US dollar. And so he has just allocated that amount to an offshore company. And that amount of money was signed by Samuel Mvodo Ayolo, which is a confidant to Paul Biya, which is also his native henchman. And I think that United States Department of Defense can do more. They can do better. They know that the United States can do more and can make a lasting solutions. Over 12,000 people displaced, either in Nigeria or in the forest or are in, and why those that are resistance to even exit or leave, they are either in the forest or they are being killed indiscriminately. And you can see the images that is coming out from Buea within these 2 subsequent days. I think U.S. Department of Defense, State Department, the White House can do more. They can do better. I urge that a significant difference can be made by U.S. Department of Defense by stationing 12 fighter jets that would be deterrent and ask Biya within 72 hours to either relinquish or leave out power totally. I think that is the significant difference that the U.S. Department of Defense can do, because dictatorship never relinquish power except at the point of a bayonet. And I believe, and I strongly urge, that United States Department of Defense, U.S. State Department, and the White House should do more and to serve human kindness. And I want to thank the U.S. Department of Defense and the White House to look in closely what must be done now, immediately, and deter future dictatorship. Thank you. And this is Funton Daniel speaking here from the great state of Texas, here in the United States. Have a good night.